Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Path of the Prophets. Today we are at the Giza Pyramids and we are in the Sahara Desert. And off to my right we've got Cairo and the Nile River. Apparently the Nile River used to come much closer to this location. Now the Saharan sands have been shifting closer and closer toward the city. And the last time I was in the Sahara, I was on the edge of the Sahara at Timbuktu, so maybe it's more technically the Sahel, the shore of the great sand sea of the Sahara. But it's technically, it's like, so that was the last time I was in the Saharan region. So it's really beautiful to be back over here. And it's also interesting how at Timbuktu, you've got the masjid there, the old university is shaped in a pyramidal. It has a pyramidal shape to it, and many of the scholars that they were influenced by and that they learned from had lived in Egypt, or they went to Egypt to study, as well as in Morocco and Tunisia, and then they brought knowledge back to Timbuktu. So it's like many of their scholars may have seen the pyramids and maybe somebody was inspired by it. So it's interesting. But the Sahara is very interesting to me because it's part of a massive desert that is more than just the Sahara. Because you have a desert region, a hot desert region that stretches from Mauritania and Morocco, all the way across part of Mali and Chad, and extending into Sudan and Egypt, including Libya, Tunisia, parts of Libya, Tunisia, Algeria. And so that's the Sahara. And then you see a transition point in the Sinai into the Arabian desert, which is the Arabian Peninsula, and then you got like the Syrian desert. So the hot deserts extend all the way up into the ancient Irani lands, and then it begins to move into a temperate cold desert range up in the stands in Central Asia, extending into the Tibetan Plateau, where there's permafrost much of the year, and then extending all the way up into the Gobi Desert or Gobi Desert of the Turkic lands of CCP China and Mongolia, in Siberia of the Russian land. So there's a massive belt of deserts, and it also extends on the other side of the world as well. I'm not super knowledgeable about these things, but I find it very interesting, and I love exploring desert regions. Back in North America, we've got a number of hot and temperate deserts as well in the Colorado Plateau, the Mojave Desert, the Death Valley area, the Chihuahua Desert. So desert regions are quite fascinating. And then we also have grassland areas, like the Sahel region and the Great Plains, where it's like kind of semi-desert to some extent. I love learning about geology and geography and ecosystems. I think we should shift more toward an ecosystemic way of thinking about things, including texts, taking a holistic approach and recognizing the interconnectivity of all things and interrelationships of all things. So this is a fascinating place, and I wish that I had read so much more before coming here, but this was a spontaneous trip, and you do the best with what you got to work with, and inshallah it shall be of benefit to someone somewhere, and we shall all grow nearer and nearer to the truth, and seeking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in all that we do. So until next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.